Welcome to eDay24. Today we're going to work on the distributive property. We worked on the distributive property on Friday, but we are going to extend it a little bit. We are going to be working in Algebra 1, and you only have to go to 75%. Starting off in the IXL, it's going to be very similar to what we did on Friday, where we're going to be distributing, which means we multiply. So 2 times 2 is 4, and then 2 times 6k is positive 12k. In our next example, we're going to distribute 7 times 1 is 7, and then 7 times 3u is positive 21u, so distributing. Later on, as you get a little further in the IXL, they're going to ask you to do something different. They're going to ask you to factor, which is basically undoing the distributive property. So to factor, we are going to look for what numbers 81 and 63 have in common. Now, depending on how good you are with your multiplication tables, this might be a little bit easier for some than others. The graphing calculator, if you recall, we used to do it with the calculator button in math, number, GCD. So I'll write that down. If anybody has a graphing calculator, you can find the greatest common factor like this. On the graphing calculators that we downloaded on the iPad, they don't have this feature, so unfortunately you have to list out your factors. For 81, what multiplies to 81 is 1 and 81. If you do 81 divided by 2, you get a decimal, so that is not a factor. If you divide 81 by 3, you get 27. And then if you keep going, if you divide by 4, you get a decimal, divide by 5, you get decimal, and you keep going until the next time you get a whole number, which is 9 and 9. If we want to find the factors of 63, we're thinking about what multiplies to 63. 2 does not go into 63. 3 does, so 3 and 21. 4 does not, 5 does not, 6 does not, and then we have 7 and 9. We're looking for the greatest number that they both have. So if you look, they both have a 9, and then they both also have a 3, and then they both also have a 1. So which number do they have in common that is the biggest? And that would be 9. So our greatest common factor is a 9. That's going to go on the outside. And then we're going to divide each thing by 9. So 81 divided by 9 is 9w, and then 63 divided by 9 is 7. Let's try another one very similar to it. So for factoring, they want us to find what numbers they both have in common. The greatest number, or greatest factor. So to multiply 72 is 1 and 72. If you divide 72 by 2, you get 36. On your calculator, take 72, divide by 3, and you're going to get 24. Divide by 4, you're going to get 18. Let me shrink this up a little bit. Then 5 does not go into it, 6 and 12, and 8 and 9. And then if we take our 45, to multiply to 45, it's 1 and 45, 3 and 15, and then 9 and 5. So we're looking for what they have in common. Yes, they both have a 3 and they both have a 1, but what's the biggest number that they have in common? And that is 9. So 9 is our greatest common factor. It comes in front. Divide each of those numbers by 9. So 72 divided by 9 is 8, and don't forget about the z. And then 45 divided by 9 is 5. I have another one for practice here. 70 and 60, they are both divisible by 10, so we're going to factor out a 10. And when you divide by 10, 70 divided by 10 is 7, and don't forget the s. 60 divided by 10 is 6, and don't forget the t. One last problem to go. If we're looking at what they both have, 3 is that greatest common factor. So we're going to divide each term by 3. 18 divided by 3 is 6, so we'll have 6a. put your subtraction sign, and 3 divided by 3 is 1. If you need any help on this, you can Zoom with us at our normal 11:30 Zoom time. If that time doesn't work for you, just email us and we will find a time that works for you to help you out. We want you to finish this Excel. It only goes to 75%. It's in Algebra 1. I hope you have a great day.